name's Jamie Humphries, and I am a guitar player, obviously, from the UK, and I spend most of my time doing work for Lick Library, and have been for many years since they were called Total Accuracy, transcribing guitar books, doing CDs. I've worked for Guitar Techniques magazine for a number of years, on and off, just doing some things for them again. Guitarist magazine, Total Guitar, and Guitar World. I also toured with the Australian Pink Floyd show, done several American and South American tours with them. I've also played with Brian May and a singer called Kerry Ellis. I've toured with them. I've had the massive pleasure of performing with Queen. I played with Queen at Freddie Mercury's birthday, and also played with Jeff Beck and Mike Rutherford from Genesis, and Tom Chaplin from Keane as well. I've also played with another show in London called We Will Rock You, which is a Queen musical, as well as doing another Queen tribute show in Europe called Champions of Rock, and an orchestral tour in America called the Mystic Orchestra.
Please tell us how it all started. When did you start playing guitar, and what were your main influences when you were a kid?
My main influence was my father, believe it or not. I started kind of strumming my stomach, holding onto the front of an old vinyl record player.
Like a guitar?
Yeah, yeah. Playing to Beatles and Elvis Presley from about the age that I could started walking. And then in, I think, 1975, Bohemian Rhapsody was #1, I think it was then. And I was about 4 years old, and I used to air guitar to it on like a chopping board that had a handle, and I used to air guitar to the solo at my grandmother's. And for me, seeing Brian May was like some kind of superhero. I wanted to do that. My father played guitar. He'd made a couple of records with his friends when he was like 15 in the 50s, and I just used to hassle my mother and father, can I play the guitar? And in the end, they took it off the wall, and that was it.
So it must have been amazing for you, to be able to play with your first guitar hero, yes, live on stage.
Yeah, that was. I actually told Brian the story, and he was like, "That's so cool." But yeah, to me, to have him come and audition me for a job, and then be on a tour bus with him, and rehearsals, and I played with him in some amazing venues, the Royal Albert Hall. We played Hyde Park in London, with an orchestra, and just standing next to him and playing things like We Are the Champions,
Unbelievable.
It's a very cool. It's one of those, you pinch yourself going, is this real? So, yeah.
And what would you consider as your biggest break, during your career, or maybe the start of your career?
I think probably the biggest break for me, I'd have to probably say, was doing the Lick Library stuff, because it just sort of, from doing Lick Library and the birth of the internet, I kind of got pushed onto the internet, whether, kicking and screaming sometimes that, where did that video come from? But then people start to see you, and then I remember one day just getting an email from Neil Murray, who played bass with Whitesnake, and he was typing in looking for guitar players that they needed to cover on We Will Rock You, the show in London, and my name kept coming up, and there were videos of me doing all this classic rock, and they were like, yeah, there's the guy.
Get the gig in Lick Library?
Well, that Lick Library, it was down to a guitar teacher of mine called Phil Hilborn, who Phil is a very renowned tutor from Guitarist magazine and Guitar Techniques, and I started taking guitar lessons with him when I was about 17. I'd been in a band, come very close to getting a record deal, Nevermind by Nirvana came out, the whole music industry changed. Our band, all of a sudden, the phone stopped ringing and the band split up. So I thought, well, what am I going to do now? I've been playing guitar since I was 5. I was 17, 18 years old. I knew what a pentatonic scale was, that was it. And I basically started taking lessons with him. And he really took me under his wing. An hour lesson would be for like 5 hours, and he started introducing me to people, getting me in magazine jobs, and introduced me to the Lick Library guys, who were called Total Accuracy at the time. So
can you tell us something about the Lick Library gig? Do you like it? Is it entertaining for you to learn all those different songs of different bands and actually teaching it?
If I'm totally honest with you, I'm going to be, it's a job. It's like any job, you have good days, you have bad days. Sometimes I would like to be in a position more to be seen as an artist or a guitar player in my own right. I spend a lot of time emulating people, and it's great. You get people come up to you at shows and go, show us some Van Halen or show me some Stevie Ray. It's cool, and I get to immerse myself in some great music, and for that I'm very grateful. And I'm very grateful for the fact that it has given me a career, and it's I've played gigs in Chile and South America and had people come up to me with Lick Library videos. So it's kind of weird.
Still, you have your own column in the I magazine, and there you teach stuff that is actually, your approach towards guitar playing, and that's amazing that you are selling your knowledge to people. Don't you feel, fulfilled with that?
I do, and don't get me wrong, I don't feel unfulfilled doing the other things. It's just, it's nice with our guitar to be able to do things and go, well, this is what I do, or this is how I play it, or this is what I would do, and people can take that and go, yeah, that works for me, or they can go, I prefer to do something else. That's the beauty of playing the guitar.
And how would you describe basically your approach towards the guitar method, your favorite sounds, are you a melodic player or a rhythm?
I would hopefully think I'm a melodic player. It's about playing music. For me, I have perfect pitch. I was born with it, and yes. So when I hear a chord, I'm playing an A chord because the other guy's playing an A chord, and at least it will be in tune when it bleeds on the video. When I play a chord, I know what these notes will sound like. So I can hear melodies in my head, but at the same time, I'm aware of scale shapes, but I don't play scale shapes maybe in the same way as a lot of people play them. I find that sometimes people play scale shapes as a way of gauging how fast they can play. I tend to play pentatonics, but then add in these other notes that make them into modes and 7-note scales, and I base them all around 5 chord shapes around the guitar neck, the cage system.
Very similar actually to Brian May's playing. I've seen a video by him that he was saying that he doesn't basically play through scales, sorry, that he just takes chords and maybe arpeggiate them and makes melodies out of that.
I'm aware totally and utterly of scales. I use a lot of finger picking things. I like to use the sweep picking, doing the breaking arpeggios. But I use arpeggios in a way where I won't necessarily play a G arpeggio over a G chord. It will be played over something else to give a bigger extension of an arpeggio. But I suppose at the end of the day, just try to be musical, and play things that sound nice, and hopefully excite people and inspire people, and get a good sound out of the guitar. And
last 2 questions.
Yes.
Why Music Man guitars? And
I fell in love with Music Man guitars when I was 14 or 15 years old. I saw Steve Morse playing one. Then Van Halen came out with the original Van Halen guitar. I could never afford one. They were always my dream guitar. And then incredibly, they spotted me doing something and were looking for an English guitar player and got behind me right at the start of my career. 15 years ago, I signed a contract. I now tour all over the place doing clinics. I've been as far as Japan, doing some things with Black Star and Music Man, America. This guitar here, this is the famous one. I've been playing this for about 13 years.
Yeah, I've seen it in all the Lick Library videos.
It's had many different pickups. It's got DiMarzio 36th anniversary pickups. I endorse DiMarzio products, Music Man and obviously Black Star. This guitar has the best neck I've ever played. As you can see, it's got no finish. It's been everywhere. I've got 12 of this very model, but I tend to just use this one. I like they're low output pickups as well, which to me again is very musical and very dynamic. And I just find that my combination of a Music Man guitar, DiMarzio pickups, Black Star amps, I get the sounds that I hear and that I want to create. So.
And any words towards the guitarists? You know, maybe a young guitarist. What can they do to
just try and be musical. Be honest about what you want to do with your instrument. You know, I've always stuck by the type of music that I want to play, and whether it's in fashion or out of fashion, that doesn't mean anything to me. It's just about playing music. Be a good person around people. You know, when you're playing, you don't want to be an idiot on the tour bus or in your band. If you're driving all over the country playing, you know, get on with people and be reliable, and hopefully you'll start to move up the chain, as it were, and you know, fulfill you just enjoy it as well, you know.
Okay. Thank you very much, Jamie Humphries. It's been an honor. Thank you.
Thank you.